36-year-old Andreas Tanava was arrested on the 24th of May and charged with murder after admitting to the fatal shooting and burning of 49-year-old Marisol Konkahofer in Atascosa, Texas. The investigation started on the 7th of May when officers first spoke to a man about Marisol who was living at the 1100 block of Fowler Road. On the 20th of May, another male witness said he was sitting in the green Ford Expedition with Marisol at the Fowler Road home when Andreas walked up to them with a gun. The witness said he feared for his life. Then he bolted from the scene and then he heard gunshots. Andreas then carried a body and put it into his vehicle, and he then went to his home located in the 1800 block of Lucky Road. It is said that Andreas then chopped a body up and burned it to hide the evidence. Andreas then hired a man to clean up the burn pile behind his house and bring the remains back to the Fowler Road home. Around the 23rd of May, a detective investigating the case spoke with another man. He said Andreas told him he wasn't going to see Marisol anymore. The man said Andreas told him he was going to kill 2 other men like he did Marisol. Andreas was arrested on the 24th of May, and officers towed his vehicle to the sheriff's office, which tested positive for Marisol's blood. While interviewing Andreas, the officer said he confessed to murdering Marisol. Andreas said to the officers that he received a phone call by someone, but didn't reveal who, telling him where Marisol was located after she stole items from his dead father. He explained that he shot her, dismembered her body and burned her remains with motor oil, and said she would burn in hell. He then hid her charred remains in barrels. Andreas has a criminal background and is described as a documented gang member. Andreas has been held at the Beara County Jail in lieu of bail totaling $1,105,000. Shortly after the mutilated killing of a cellmate by another prisoner in the early morning hours of the 9th of March 2019, prison guards at the Corcoran Penitentiary in California noted that both men were still alive while doing their usual inspections of the cells. The findings of a state investigation report on the matter, which has been in the spotlight in recent days, believes the victim could still be alive if the guards had checked their cells properly. 31-year-old Jamie Asuna had been serving a life sentence at the prison for torturing and killing a woman at a motel in 2011. He has a history of attacking fellow inmates and has never shared a cell before. 44-year-old Luis Romero had spent 27 years in prison after being convicted of murder in the fatal shooting of a woman when he was a teenager. He was nearing his parole eligibility when he was put into the same cell with Jamie after arriving from Maull Creek State Prison. Early that morning, Jamie covered the cell bars with sheets and spent hours methodically torturing and killing Lewis, who was believed to have been conscious during a portion of the time, during which no guards checked up on the inmates. Jamie made a makeshift knife from a razor blade and some string that was fashioned into a handle. He cut out one of Lewis's eyes, chopped off a finger, removed part of his ribs, and sliced out part of his lung, and ultimately cut his head off. He also posed the body, slicing Lewis's face open on either side of his mouth to resemble an extended smile. Guards encountered the grisly scene later that morning and found Jamie wearing a necklace made of Lewis's body parts. The state report criticises the prison's own internal investigation into the matter, noting that some officers lied and key witnesses were not interviewed, and questions why the 2 killers were put together was never looked into. Jamie has been transferred to the Salinas Valley State Prison Psychiatric Inpatient Program. He's been diagnosed with unspecified schizophrenia spectrum, antisocial and borderline personality disorder. Jamie's been ruled unfit to stand trial for Lewis's death.